Is it really too much to ask for a cool ending? Hey guys, it's Phoebe with WatchMojo. Today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 worst animated series finales.
That's a bad word! You're not supposed to say that word!
We're taking a look at the worst final episodes of animated shows, including ones intended for mature audiences and for kids. You will not see any anime here or any reboots. Let's get to it. Number 10, The League of Villains, The Adventures of Jimmy Neutron, Boy Genius. Like many shows that stay on the air for too long, The Adventures of Jimmy Neutron suffered a dip in quality in its last year.
Yeah, we're older and wiser.
We've changed.
People don't change.
What was supposed to be an epic finale to one of Nickelodeon's best shows ended up being a disappointing hiccup. In his ultimate attempt to rid himself of Jimmy, King Goobot rallies up the Boy Genius's greatest foes.
You are hereby invited to attend the first meeting of the League of Villains, an organization devoted to helping us to better understand the villain's role in society.
A cliched plot, yes. And what makes the finale worse is that the villains spend more time bickering than, being villains.
Our first order of business should be to give this guy a bath. He smells as bad as he looks.
Watch it! Touch! Silence!
And so we may never know what became of Jimmy and Cindy's relationship or what happened to Betty Quinlan.
Why does Neutron have a picture of Betty Quinlan in his lab?
I said don't touch anything!
Number 9, Back on Shaq, Johnny Bravo.
It's gotta be better than the Plumbers Convention.
Celebrity guest appearances were no stranger to Johnny Bravo, especially in its later seasons.
Do you think it's my form?
Nah, you're perfect. I just think you're on a bad luck streak.
Do I pay you to say that?
However, would it really be appropriate to end the entire show with one? Johnny just wants to hit on cheerleaders at a basketball game, but he finds himself being Shaquille O'Neal's good luck charm. Cue the obvious Shaq joke.
Can you dig it?
Yes, we can!
Back on Shaq feels more like a pilot to a rejected Shaq cartoon than a traditional Johnny Bravo episode, putting the titular character in the back seat while we're supposed to laugh at a tired basketball gag.
All I have to say is, hey y'all!
Whatever, buddy.
We get it. Shaq had terrible three-pointers. Did the show really have to close out with this instead of Johnny learning how to get a girl? Number 8, Golden Boy, All Grown Up.
You sure missed a good game, Tommy. I think it was the best game ever.
All Grown Up may not have been around as long as its predecessor Rugrats, but it put our favorite babies in an interesting new light, and became another memorable Nicktoon. If only the show stayed consistent with its quality until the bitter end. Golden Boy puts Tommy and Dill in a cliched sibling rivalry, as they fight each other to become Grandpa Lou's favorite grandson.
I'd rather not indulge you in your infantile competition, but if I have to, bring it on.
What makes this finale so frustrating is that it could have made a statement on growing up, given how much time we'd spent with the franchise up to this point. Instead, we get an overly simplistic plot for a show that deserved more.
That's all I want to. Maybe some pants.
Number 7, The New Black, The Boondocks. When your fans don't even acknowledge a season's existence, you know something went terribly, terribly wrong. And that's precisely what happened with The Boondocks.
Is this the new face of hate?
The Adult Swim series had a stellar run up until its 4th and final season, and while the whole season felt like a slap in the face, the series finale was the equivalent to a punch in the throat.
Oh no, that's your explanation? Do you know what you've done to us? We're doomed. We'll be blacklisted in Hollywood. Now I'll never host the Oscars.
It lacks the edge that made the Boondocks unique, and the finale feels like it was lazily cobbled together, relying far too heavily on parodies for jokes. Maybe it's just best to end a show when its creator leaves? Here's hoping they'll redeem themselves when Aaron McGruder returns for the planned 2020 reboot of the sitcom on HBO Max.
I can't believe I never thought of this. I thought people had low expectations of me before.
Number 6, American Idol parody clip show, Drawn Together.
I can't believe it's happening to me!
Speaking of cobbled together finales, Drawn Together was another adult animated series that suffered a floundering end.
Oh, fine. You're safe. Enjoy the commercials without anything to look forward to.
American Idol parody clip show is roughly what you'd expect from a mashed up title like that, comprised of nothing but characters reminiscing about various moments from across the show, juvenile behavior, and jarring editing. Every punchline feels forced and rushed, and some moments run so long that it gets awkward.
I like to walk the streets at midnight. I want you to know. Nailed it.
It's almost as if the joke of cartoon characters from different eras living in the same house had run its course a long time ago. Number 5. Lumpus's Last Stand, Camp Lazlo. While it wasn't as big of a hit as Joe Murray's famed Wallaby, Camp Lazlo still garnered a respectable amount of fans.
Well, when I'm feeling less than fresh, I simply turn my clothes inside out and let the breeze clean them.
We just wish that they were given a better ending to the show. Lumpus's Last Stand is about as deranged as its plot, with the Scoutmaster discovering wet paint as a better alternative to wearing clothes.
I am either a lunatic or the greatest genius the world has ever known.
Yeah, we're a little creeped out too. However, the episode ends with Lumpus getting arrested, and the Bean Scouts meet the real Scoutmaster Lumpus before parting ways.
Yeah, so?
The ending is so abrupt and jarring that it almost stains the rest of the show, leaving us wondering why we even bothered watching in the first place for such an unsatisfying conclusion. Number 4. Sonically Ever After, Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog.
Are you my fairy godmother?
No, I'm your fairy godfather. I'm gonna cast a spell you can't refuse.
When it comes to cartoons based on video games, our expectations are already pretty low. As campy as it was, Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog carried its own charm, but that didn't save the show from having a dumb ending.
This is as weird as it gets. Huh?
Who's that nibbling on my house?
In the campily titled Sonically Ever After, Grounder and Scratch trap Sonic, Tails, and Robotnik in a fairy tale book where the duo must help its character find their happy endings.
What was that?
We could go on about the messy plot or blatant advertisement for another season, which never happened, but suffice it to say, this remains a disappointment.
But it's no fairy tale to say, see you soon for more adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog.
Number 3. Kimmy Takes the Cake, Rugrats. Golden Boy was a pretty awful way to close All Grown Up, but considering Rugrats' quality and long history, you might have hoped that the show would end with a big bang or a meaningful message, right?
But don't worry, Kimmy. Your party's gonna be great! I hope.
Well, we couldn't have been more wrong. The final episode of the show has the babies searching for Kimmy's birthday cake, and that's it.
We didn't look in there!
9 seasons, 13 years, and all we get is a cake expedition.
Now you're gonna have the bestest birthday for sure, Kimmy! Here's your cake!
Part of what makes Rugrats such a fun show were the imaginative fantasy elements conjured by the babies. When compared to episodes like The Inside Story, Kimmy Takes the Cake pales in comparison. Number 2. Fancy Schmancy, The Fairly Odd Parents. The long-running The Fairly Odd Parents overstayed its welcome. Many fans will tell you.
My wasted time is now a waste of time!
As if the later seasons weren't disappointing enough, the series finale felt like a massive insult to longtime viewers. Fancy Schmancy focuses on Timmy and Chloe trying to celebrate Friends Day, but their parents won't let them because society...
I'm in!
No, you're not! Don't take this the wrong way, Kelly, but they won't let you in, being that you're low-rent riffraff and all.
In hindsight, we shouldn't be surprised by the poor writing and lazy humor. But you couldn't make a memorable goodbye after being on air for 16 years? Not even a message on growing up or how to power through life's toughest moments? If The Fairly Odd Parents didn't lose its magic when Sparky was introduced, it sure did now.
Someone put my bed on the ceiling! Mother! Why?
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Stimpy's Pregnant, Ren and Stimpy Adult Party Cartoon. One thing that Ren and Stimpy fans can agree with is just how horrendous the supposed lost episodes were, and the resentment grew worse when they saw the final episode of this spin-off of the original show. As if the title didn't scream lazy attempt to shock, Stimpy's Pregnant was disgusting and tasteless even by the series standards.
I'm gonna have your baby!
The episode starts with Ren learning that Stimpy is pregnant with their child, but in the end, it's discovered that Stimpy was just constipated. However, Dr. Horse doesn't want to disappoint the newfound parents, and so he lets them believe that the object is their child named Little Ricky. What a way to tarnish a show's legacy.
Didn't I tell you, Ren? He looks just like you.
Yeah, but he smells just like you.
If there's one demographic you do not want to piss off, it's an animated television show fan base. But what do you guys think? Let us know in the comments or tweet me at Phoebe_WM. And check out this video.